Some refer to them as illegal, some refer to them as undocumented. But the fact remains that these millions of people want to become American. But yet, I, a little boat person from a foreign land called Vietnam, got the opportunity to come here, the greatest country on earth. I want you to know that during the colonial period, there was a Vietnamese patriot named Phan Bội Châu. He was fighting against the French and Ho Chi Minh. And he said, you know, in order to free the country, we need to educate the people of Vietnam. So he did everything he could in his power for 3 years to sneak students, the brightest, out to Tokyo and allow them to attend university in Japan. 3 long years, he was able to sneak out 100 students. Now we have over 3 million Vietnamese living in some of the most wealthy countries, democratic, free countries around the world. 1.6 in the United States. And that didn't happen by accident. I want you to know that. It happened because you fought in Vietnam. You came to that foreign land and you said, I'm going to fight and defend the freedom of these people, whom I have no idea who they are. And many of you probably didn't know why you did what you did. You had to do what you had to do. But the fact remains that 42 years later, here, standing in front of you, is a young person who benefited from your sacrifice. Because of your sacrifice, I had the opportunity to receive an education. I had the opportunity to be free, to grow up in the state of Kentucky, the bluegrass state, to join the army and become commissioned as a United States Army officer. Great honor because of your sacrifice. You and your family, your spouses, you gave us that opportunity. Not just me, 3 million Vietnamese. There are 90 million in Vietnam right now, and they would do anything they could to trade places with me. So the fact that I'm here, honestly and sincerely, not even political talk, is because of your sacrifice. You delayed the bloodbath for as long as you could. But fighting a war with one hand tied behind our back, there wasn't much chance for success politically. Militarily, we all know what happened. Militarily, I think we won and defeated the communist forces many, many times over. But if you and I get into a fight with Mike Tyson, and if he had to tie his hand, one of his hands behind his back, and if he is not allowed to attack, he is only allowed to block and defend, I think 20 years later, we would be far away to beat him. So it was an unfair fight. That we were fighting not only against the communist forces of Vietnam, but we were fighting against the communist forces of Soviet Union, of China, of North Korea, and Cuba. So after the United States left, the South Vietnamese army was abandoned. So defeat was imminent. I don't want to go back and hash out the pains and the wounds of the past. The fact of the matter is, I'm living a great life. I'm married, 3 kids. 8 of my siblings are all free, engineers, successful, accomplished individuals. 2 of my brothers are Catholic priests. 1 in Kentucky still, and 1 here in Dallas-Fort Worth area. My parents are with me. It took 10 years for us to reunite through various escape routes and so forth. It took 10 years. It wasn't easy. But I'm here. And the reason I want to be here is to tell you that your sacrifice wasn't in vain. You gave us life. You gave us freedom. You gave us opportunity. And you gave us a future. And because of that, many Vietnamese Americans continue the struggle to bring freedom and democracy to Vietnam until today. The war may have ended, but the struggle for justice, for freedom, and for democracy continues until today. We may lost a battle, but I feel very confident that soon, within the next decade, Vietnam will be free. Vietnam will be democratic. And then you and I can hold our reunion on the streets of Saigon.
Nice.
To celebrate the ultimate victory, the victory of justice and liberty. Again, thank you. Thank your family, your neighbors, the American people, for the sacrifices that you made. Again, it wasn't in vain. You have made a difference. You gave us life. You gave us a future. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, sir, for allowing me to be here. And I love to stick around and get to know each of you better.